GearNetwork.com.
Dawn!
John.
How are ya?
Great.
We are back. Get Ready America. How you doing? It's the season premiere. Season premiere, Dawn. Don't you feel all very excited about the season premiere?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Talk a little louder.
I'm really not going to yell through the entire podcast.
You don't have to yell through the entire podcast.
No, I do.
You just have to talk at a normal voice, like a normal person.
So I'm not a normal person.
You're just figuring
I think
this
you
out.
might have to edit that out of the podcast.
No,
Otherwise, me and you are going to start this
Listen,
with
it's
a fight.
bad enough I had to edit out an entire segment that I thought I was going to air, but that's what you are for. You are the executive producer, and as the executive producer, you turn down something, and after listening to it again, I agree with you. So you're doing your job as the executive producer, and you're doing it very, very well. Do you know what part of the show this is, though?
I don't. Is it the pre-show?
It's the pre-show,
It's the
baby.
pre-show.
Don't you miss this?
Yeah. Sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I do.
You know, I gotta say, unlike episode 40, it's nice to not see you so angry.
Okay.
So, you think I should entitle
I mean, the way you're starting off, you might end with seeing me very angry.
Should I entitle this episode Dawn's Not Angry episode?
I guess. I mean, you'll have to ask the fans because they know better than me about that.
That's right. Speaking of fans, did I let you know the episode 40, I think we had 1,600?
No, I don't know. Do we really have fans, or are they just like, some of those have got to just be haters? I guarantee.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of them are haters. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of them are haters. Although I think maybe that might have been the spike in Talking Wrestling, because that was up there too in the higher numbers, and I'm guessing a lot of it had to be the local haters around here. But, you know, hate all you want. Hate, 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 hate. All right, we're going to go ahead. We are going to kick the usual bumpers. This is the pre-show, and the pre-show what we do is we just chat. It's like, it's not really part of the show, but it is part of the show, but it's not really part of the show. You know what I'm saying?
Do I know what you're saying?
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know who you're asking.
You know what I'm saying? You know it's real.
Yes.
It's real. How's it going, Misguided Musings? This is a Gear Network production.
Hollywood, land of how do you do? Movie stars, tattoos, lights, cameras, action, and where's my...
Coming to you live from the Gear Network studios in Rochester, New York, and broadcast worldwide on GearNetwork.com. This is Get Ready America.
And welcome everybody here to Get Ready America. It is episode 41. How is it going, everybody? Uh-oh, stink eye alert. Stink eye alert from Dawn. What's the matter?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just trying to figure out why my computer is not charging.
She was giving her computer the stink eye. We are sponsored by our t-shirt store. It is at ProWrestlingTees.com/TheJCMoney. Go on there. It's not just for me, but the Get Ready America podcast shirt is on there. It's $20. Ships to you. Ships worldwide. And it helps us out tremendously. So if you want a shirt for Get Ready America, it's ProWrestlingTees.com/TheJCMoney. I almost forgot to introduce myself. John Cimino here with you, and I am joined, as always, by my wonderful, beautiful, inteligente, muy inteligente co-host, Mrs. Dawn Cimino. Say hello, Dawn.
Hi, I'm pretty sure we already did this part. Like, this should have been at the beginning of the show.
I didn't introduce you. I said who you were. I just said, hey, Dawn, how you doing?
Right, but it should have been at the beginning
should have
of the
been
show.
at the pre-show? Is this you using your executive producer role, you know, doing that to a T? Perfection?
Yep.
All right. Matthew McConaughey. All right. So, how we doing, Dawn?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How have you been since the listening audience wants to know how you've been since the last podcast? They do. They like you.
Uh-huh.
They don't like me, but they like you.
I'm great. I've been wonderful. Couldn't be better.
Okay. All right. Shall we get to the first topic of the day?
Let's do it. What's our first topic?
The first topic is the newest segment to Get Ready America. I was going to do it after your news, but I guess it just worked out this way. It's a segment I like to call Hell No.
Hell no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, no.
Hell no. Listen to this guy break it down right here. Ready? Ready? All right. As everybody knows, one of the biggest stories, and I don't want to tie, it's not really a sports-related story as much as it starts from sports and ends somewhere else. 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, during Week 3 of the NFL preseason, elected to sit during the national anthem, and it immediately caused an uproar. Some people on one side of the fence saying that is his right, which by definition of the Constitution it is. Some people on the other side saying, yeah, it may be his right, but it's kind of disrespectful to the troops and the men and women that are fighting for that flag. Colin Kaepernick's version of why he did this was that he wanted to send a message that he did not want to salute or pay respect to a flag that has, disrespected African Americans, the problems with the African American community and the police shootings and things like that. And that has caused quite an uproar. Dawn, I know you have been eyeing that story as well. Before I go ahead and get into my take on it, I'd like to hear yours.
I guess I would be on the side that thinks it's completely disrespectful. I think if you choose to live in this country, that you show some type of respect and you should stand up for it. I don't understand things like standing on the flag, burning the flag, or any other type of disrespect. If you don't like the country, then get the fuck out of the country. It's really that simple. Go live somewhere else if it's so bad here. Because it's not the country as a whole that's causing these issues. So why disrespect the country as a whole?
I see that point. I look at it radically different, I think, than everybody. And part of why I wanted to bring this up to the front was because I thought that you may have thought I would have had a total opposite view of it, but realistically I do not. Here's where I'm looking at it from. I'm looking at it from a sports perspective, okay? This is what I'm looking at. Colin Kaepernick has regressed, okay? He's regressed in his years since, leading the 49ers on that miracle Super Bowl run that ended at the Super Bowl when they lost to the Ravens. He's regressed. The NFL's figured him out. He's entering this season with no job security. He may get cut. So I want to say that this, to a degree, is a publicity stunt. Mm-hmm. Because if he were to get cut, instead of... I think it's easier to get sympathy from the NFL fans by saying, I got cut because I sat in the national anthem, instead of, I got cut because I got beat out by Blaine Gabbert, who in the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars deemed as not good. And Blaine Gabbert got shipped to San Francisco and beat out Colin Kaepernick last season and is probably going to beat him out this season. Kaepernick may not even have a job. Now he does this, creates a whole new set of fans, quote unquote, because I've seen it on the sports boards that I'm in on Facebook. They're all of a sudden, he's my new favorite player now because he's standing up for what he believes in. Well, let me give you a little history on Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was adopted by a white family, raised rather privileged, never felt any sort of oppression, always had everything provided to him, everything he wanted, everything he needed. He got into a good school. He got drafted to the NFL. He became a starting quarterback. He's made over $19 million in his career, playing mediocre at best. There's no oppression there. Now, if it's a message he's trying to send, I get it, but there's other ways of doing it. Colin Kaepernick is biracial. He's black and white.
Thank you for explaining to me what biracial is.
I figured you would want to know because you looked at me kind of confused.
Oh, I did?
No.
Okay.
But, so this is the question that I'm going to pose to you, Dawn, because at the ESPYs, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and LeBron James stood at the stage and made a speech that was viewed as heroic and viewed as, it was welcomed. 3 out of those 4 went on to play in the Olympics, where they stood and, paid respects to the flag during the national anthems and stuff like that. They've never done anything like this. I've drawn a comparison to other biracial athletes, specifically Derek Jeter. If Derek Jeter were to have done something like this, considering the fact that Derek Jeter has carried himself with class his entire professional career, whereas Colin Kaepernick has not. He's done a lot of childish things and acted in ways that have had people scratching their heads, and it's kind of been a douchebag. But if Derek Jeter did something like this, would Derek Jeter have caught as much hell as Colin Kaepernick has?
Yeah, I think he would. I think anybody would. I don't think it matters who the person is. I also don't think it matters what race they are either. I think any race can stand up against what's going on, but that's
right. I don't think so either, but it's being put out there, not only by Colin Kaepernick himself, but by the media as well, as a race thing. So no matter what, it's going to be looked at as a black guy taking a stand for his race. That's what it's going to look like.
Right. I mean, never mind. Well, I'm not even going to get into that. But yes, you're correct. But I don't think it would matter who it is. I don't. I think that it's, to me, just a disrespectful thing to do. That's just the way that our country views things. So I get that some people say, well, I don't understand why it's that big of a deal or it's so disrespectful. Well, then you're part of the problem. If you don't understand that, that's a problem.
Okay.
Because first and foremost, you should have respect for the country that you live in. Just like when I lived in my mother's house and I didn't always like her rules. I didn't always like the way she treated me. But at the end of the day, I respected her because that's my mother and that's the house I live in. And if I don't like it, I can get the fuck out. Right? That was my choice. Mm-hmm. Same thing. You have enough money. If you don't like it here, get out. Now, I don't have an issue with him wanting to stand up for something and feel that there's issues and take a stance on it. That's just not the right way to do it. And for somebody who has enough attention on him, there's plenty of ways that he could have chosen to take a stand against this and speak against it or whatever he wanted to do without having to basically spit in the face of the country.
Right.
So that's my issue with it.
Now, on a somewhat related subject, what are your feelings on the Trump supporters that are going against Colin Kaepernick? Now, I've noticed a bunch of them saying things like, well, how dare you talk about America not being great? And how dare you disrespect the flag? But to talk about America not being great, right? They're like mad because Colin Kaepernick said that, while they're wearing their hats saying Trump Pence, make America great again.
Right. I guess maybe I'm misunderstanding that, or what I've read isn't that. What I've read is more people saying, how dare you, when you've grown up so privileged, have now tried to take this stance against all these other people, against what's going on and try to act like you can sympathize or whatever. And I don't agree with that. I don't think it matters at all what, and I said this earlier, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what class you're, it does not make a difference. I think anybody can take a stance against it. Mm-hmm. So I've read a lot about that, and I've seen a lot of that on Facebook, like, who's Colin Kaepernick to come out and say this? He grew up so privileged, he makes all this money. he still has a right to say anything.
Right.
Anybody has. There is a problem going on. I'm not gonna ever say that this is in somebody's head, that it's not that big of a problem.
Right.
There's obviously a big problem,
Yes,
and it
absolutely.
needs to be. So I'm all for him taking a stance against it. This is just, in my opinion, was not the right way to do it, and all it did was cause negativity around the situation and further fuel the fire, because he's acting out in a way that people see as disrespectful, and therefore they're seeing the whole cause and saying, well, this is why you're looked at that
Right.
way, and that's,
I get
it's
it.
not helping.
I think my personal opinion, and then I'll close this. I'll leave you with closing thoughts with this particular subject if you want after it. My personal opinion on Colin Kaepernick, having watched him since his rookie year and having followed him because, you really had no choice that first year if you were into sports like I am. People can change, obviously. They can change. And that's, well documented. Everybody does it. It's a human right, too. I don't 100% believe that Colin Kaepernick truly believes this or truly feels this. And the only reason why I say this is because he said nothing when Trayvon Martin was shot. He said nothing, went about his business. I mean, like the usual PR stuff. My heart, my thoughts and prayers out to there, whatever. When that African-American church was shot last year or the year before, whenever that was in North Carolina, that one. Never said anything about that. Has never on record donated anything or donated time or resources to poor African-American communities. So now he's taking a stance by this, and it coincides with his possible release of his contract. I mean, for me, as the sports guy, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that it's, it just works. It's just coincidental, I guess, is what I'm looking for. That this all of a sudden comes out, this change in attitude comes out. And not to mention, at his press conference, he was wearing a Malcolm X hat, which is fine. But he was wearing a Fidel Castro shirt. Did you see that? A shirt with...
No, I didn't
No,
see that.
he was wearing a shirt of oppressed people, or whatever the gimmick was that he said it was. But on there was Fidel Castro. The guy who oppressed an entire country. He was wearing on him. So for that, Colin Kaepernick, hell no.
Hell no, no, to the no.
Got anything while this goes on here?
No, no, to the no, to the
No. You gotta say it like him. Hell no. No, I'm kidding. All right, what? No. You have any closing thoughts on that? I just wanted to hit that button again, that's all.
No, I mean, honestly, I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, and then when you say that actually makes quite a bit of sense, because it did put a spotlight on him, made people talk about him, and now what'll happen is if he ends up getting released, or they wanted to release him, everybody's going to pin it on the fact that they're only releasing him because of this. So
exactly.
That puts them in a bind where they can't really now
exactly.
let him go. So
exactly.
Perfect for him.
Exactly. That is the take that I had on it since the very, very beginning. That's the take I had on it. And it's a smart PR move by him and his team. Because, again, it's good for the Colin Kaepernick brand. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Being that I'm getting some audio issues and have had audio issues since the start of this podcast, Dawn, I think it's time. Shall we go to commercial?
Let's go to commercial.
We're going to be right back. Maybe. I don't know. Damn you computers. Technology, you suck. This is Get Ready America right here on the Gear Radio Network. It's that time of year again, folks, the dog days of summer, and time to think about back-to-school shopping. Now save your time, save your money, and save your patience instead of going to Walmart and waiting in one line that's open out of 26 with 7,000 people in line ahead of you. Go to GearNetwork.com/Amazon and click on the back-to-school banner, and it will take you right to your account, and you can shop right there. And what's new this year, if you go there and you enter in your zip code, it's going to bring up the list of schools near your area. You can choose one and the grade that you're shopping for, and it's going to bring up the school list for that grade for that school. So you can cross-reference your school supply needs based on the list that was provided to Amazon. Sweet feature this year. Saves you a lot of time. Again, GearNetwork.com/Amazon. Click the back to school link do your shopping through there. It helps us out. It helps you out. And it definitely does not help Walmart out, but they don't need help anyway. So, again, thank you for bookmarking and saving and sharing our links to Amazon through GearNetwork.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. Gabriel Soul.
And I'm Pat G.
The G stands for gangster. And you are listening to the Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast, baby.
Every week live and exclusively on the Gear Network,
where we talk about indie wrestling, national wrestling, WWE, TNA, ROH, every single independent wrestling scene that we get information on, plus our opinions on such.
Find it only on the Gear Network app, iTunes, and more.
You always got to go to GearNetwork.com to tune in and listen to my voice every single week, because I know you love it. And the reason why is because you get eargasms, baby.
And if you want those eargasms, tune in every week. Otherwise, we only have one word for you.
Cyclone!
We are back here at Technology Central, everybody. Ooh, we've got great technology. I tell you what. Right, Dawn?
Right.
All right. Hey, so kind of going along with our last topic of discussion here. I got breaking news alerts, sports alerts here. According to CBS Sports, 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick kneeled during the national anthem today, and he was joined by safety Eric Reed. And then just not too long after that, Seahawks cornerback Jeremy Lane sat during the national anthem before Thursday's preseason game against the Raiders.
I'm not surprised. That's exactly what I expected would start happening.
Yep.
And people will follow suit because they're going to equate it to now this is their symbol for that, their way they're going to bring awareness to the cause, right? It's a horrible idea. It's real.
Okay.
And then, not to mention, we're not even talking about the fact that this is them doing their job. They get paid to go out there and do this. And part of their job, the team expects them to do this. We're not talking about them going out to some event, like some other sporting event that they're just sitting there watching and they maybe decide they just want to sit in the stands and not stand up or whatever the case may be. No, they're getting paid. And I think you told me that I know I heard it, that some teams actually have like a whole ritual around it. I actually heard it on the radio. Some teams actually have like a whole ritual. There's things you're expected to do for the national anthem, a way you have to stand. So to me, it goes way beyond just your feelings of the country anyways.
It's to a point, and you know it's going to get blown up and magnified and given press, and every single week someone's going to do it, and they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep highlighting it, and they're going to keep talking about it. And the thing that everybody needs to understand here is that if you try this nonsense, if you do that disrespect in one of them third world countries, they're chopping off a hand. They're punishing you for that. You don't do that type of stuff. To your point, I get it. If there is an issue, if you have an issue, if you want to take a stand, take a stand. Do something that's not completely pissing all over the flag of people, of the blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, Americans, all of them that have fought and died for that flag. It's stupid. Do what Colin Kaepernick, all you guys, pick up the phone and call Carmelo Anthony. Call LeBron James. Call Dwayne Wade. You know what they're doing? LeBron James donated XYZ amount of money to a local school in Cleveland, in the Cleveland-Akron area, to give them resources, books, new computers, things like that. He does a scholarship fund thing every year, picks a kid or two, and funds their college for them. I mean, he's doing things like that. Carmelo, the same thing. Dwayne Wade, the same thing. He's been doing it in his hometown of Chicago since his Miami Heat days. Well, they've been giving back with their resources. Colin Kaepernick has done dick.
Right.
He really has. And now we've got all these other guys who have done even less than him that are going to be taking a stand. And you've got people that are within the league or Hall of Famers that have done more, significantly more than him, saying, you're an idiot. That's disrespectful. David Ortiz, he was signing autographs, and he picked up at the Red Sox game, and a fan, he had a baby, so he picked up the baby, and he was kind of holding the baby or whatever, and then the national anthem started playing, and you know what he did? Took his hat off. He was holding the baby, took his hat off, turned at attention, looked right at the flag while holding that kid. It's just what you do. You're in our country. And I'll catch heat from this. I'm used to it. Being a wrestler, I'm used to it. It's wrong. Take a stand. I get it. Take a stand. Stand up for what you believe in. Yes, it is your right to do it. You're just a dipshit for doing it because it's 100% disrespectful.
Right.
I agree.
It is your right to do it. It's your right to do a million other things too that make you look like an idiot when you do that.
Just like it's Tom Brady's right to sit and pee. It's
right.
But
everybody wanted to make fun of Tim Tebow because he prayed on the sidelines. That was a big thing.
Right.
What a joke that
Right.
was. How ridiculous that was.
Yeah.
But this is okay.
Yeah, I get it. They're shoving prayer down our throats. They're
Right.
shoving this down our throats, even though we're a Catholic nation a Catholic nation or a Christian nation or something like that. But the outcry was they're shoving it down our throats. We don't like Tebow praying like that or whatever. It's just you know what it is it's a stupification of America. They absolutely have to have something to bitch about. It's what they do.
The thing is that at the end of the day, it's not harming me or anybody else whether he chooses to sit or stand. It doesn't harm anybody. It does make us look like a foolish country to other ones, but that's a whole different situation that we aren't even talking about. But it doesn't hurt anybody, so if you want to do it, have at it. You look like an idiot. It's disrespectful. That's on you. It's whatever, but
go ahead.
But what I do want to say is that what frustrates me the most is because I choose to have this opinion that I think that it is disrespectful, that makes me a racist. That makes me somebody who does not support the cause, understand the issues, or want to take a stand against them. That's what people think. People who don't know me, have no idea what I may or may not have done, how I feel about a situation, want to judge me solely for the fact that I don't think that that's the right way to stand against the situation.
I see that, and I have actually fought that battle. So much so, in fact, that I had to leave that group of that sports page that I was on. I had to leave it because I couldn't stand it anymore. But because, to your point, they were judging me. They were judging me by my last name. They saw the last name, Semino. Oh, he's a white boy talking about this. And I got that. And I'm like, oh, hey, that's funny. I'm actually half Spanish, you piece of shit.
I was told that I don't understand because I'm a privileged American.
Oh.
Well, how do you know that? How do you know that I'm a privileged American? You don't know that. Why? Because I'm a white woman, that makes me privileged?
We have
you don't know
freedoms in this country that allow the same freedoms that allow Colin Kaepernick to do what he did. The same freedoms that allowed Colin Kaepernick supporters to back up what he did and slam on everybody else that didn't are the same freedoms I have to say Colin Kaepernick's a dick for doing it, and this is why I think he's a dick for doing it. This is why I think he's disrespectful. So for those pro-Cap people that come after you or come after me saying, well, how dare you, or whatever, you're racist because blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm exercising the same right, the same First Amendment right, and to my friend and former manager in wrestling, Handsome Randall Burton's point that he made on one of his YouTube videos, I'm quite passionate about the freedom of speech, almost as much as wingnuts are about their stupid gun law and the Second Amendment. I truly believe in freedom of speech. That's why I'm so goddamn vocal, and I have no problem exercising my First Amendment right the same way Colin Kaepernick did, and the same way those supporters who called you a racist, who called me a racist, did the same. We all have that same right. That's the beauty of being American. Having said that, Colin Kaepernick's a dick for doing it.
Right.
That's my opinion.
And then I was actually asked that if that's not the correct way, in my opinion, to take a stance against it or speak out against it, what would be the correct way? Well, I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. But I guess my thoughts would be, let's start by educating our youth more about it. Let's start in our own homes with teaching our own kids the proper way to treat other people, right? That might help. I don't know, just a thought. How about if we take a stance politically and actually try to vote people in who can help the situation instead of not taking the time to understand certain people's beliefs? Let me just say, for example, that your number one issue is this, right? Unarmed black men, women, and children being shot by officers. Let's just say that that is your number one, right?
Okay. Yep.
So why did all those people not go out and vote for Bernie Sanders? Baffles me. The only person out there who fought his entire life against that type of thing, they all voted against him and voted for Clinton, of all people. What a joke. So to me, hey, how about you get some people in office that can actually help to change some laws and make some difference out there and make sure that police officers are wearing body cameras, that there's working cameras on the street to catch these incidents, that we make harsher penalties for that we spend more time training cops properly. All of those things are things that you can do to help make a change. But no, instead, we'll sit for the national anthem because that does something. I'm sorry, what does that do? Oh, nothing. It changes nothing.
All it does is it does the same thing. Trying to find
It brings awareness. That's all it does.
It brings awareness. Yes, it brings awareness, but it also brings the negative backlash in reverse.
That's the problem. The same thing when people go out and shoot police officers in retaliation.
Right.
Now, that's all you're doing is bringing negativity to the situation. It's not helping. To bring another negative into the situation will never help. That's what's wrong with our society, is that's the way that people live their lives, is thinking what they want or their beliefs are right and everybody else's are wrong. And if you don't believe what they believe, then you're a piece of shit and they can do whatever they want with you. That's basically what it is. Nobody has respect of anybody else.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's a good way to let it rest.
Okay. I agree.
To let this particular subject rest, because we could really go on and on for hours about this particular subject, and it would start at Kaepernick and it would end at Trump, and it just and I don't want to do that because I don't want to completely lose the comedic aspect and the things of this show. But part of Get Ready America is that there are going to be weeks where we say shit you're not going to like, or you're not going to want to hear, or it's going to be, and I'm expecting backlash.
Well, you know what? I always welcome it. I know I debate with people all the time. And at the end of the day, I still respect their opinion. I still respect the opinion of the people who support what he did. I don't respect it that you think that means that I don't care about the situation. That's the thing
that pisses me off the most.
But I do welcome any of that feedback. So if any of our listeners ever have feedback on anything we say, or they have opinions, or just want to share with us, I mean, that's great. I love that. I would love to hear more from our listeners.
Facebook.com/GRA on gear. That's our Facebook page. The Get Ready America Facebook page, where I'll also post a link where you could buy our shirt too. That'd be cool.
I got this shirt.
Yes, you did.
I like this shirt. It's a nice shirt. I got
Yeah, I'm gonna order mine soon. Because I gots to have one. Mm-hmm. Gots to have one. It won't look as sexy on me that it does on you, though.
Okay.
Right. How you doing?
I am great.
Ready to go to commercial?
Sure.
Take us to commercial. Tell them we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Woohoo! Hey everyone, John Cimino here for Amazon Prime. If you've thought of signing up for Amazon but were afraid to pull the trigger on that because it's $99 for a year and it's one flat price, even though there's awesome benefits to it, I got great news for you. Amazon has now given you a variety of options to try Prime. First of all, you can either try Amazon Prime Video for $8.99 a month, which is cheaper than Netflix, and it also gives you unlimited movies and TV shows, including HD, Ultra HD, and HDR when available at no additional charge. You can try Amazon Prime Monthly for $10.99 a month, which is equivalent to Netflix, but in addition, you'll get free 2-day shipping, unlimited movies, TV, and music streaming, access to over 1 million ebooks, free unlimited photo storage, and free same-day delivery in eligible areas. Perhaps those drones? Maybe, maybe not. Not sure. Or if you're old school like me, you pay $99 a year annually, and you get all the benefits of Prime Monthly. Plus, you can save 25% with prepayment discount added. It's an added feature for you yearly folks. Don't think they forgot about you. You can go ahead to GearNetwork.com. That's GERE Network.com. Click on our Amazon banner, our Amazon Prime banner, and we can hook you up with a free 30-day trial through us. This podcast does receive a special bonus if you sign up for Prime using us. And that's even if you don't keep it, but we think you will, because it's awesome, and if you shop Amazon frequently like I do, that free 2-day shipping is a lifesaver. As always, thank you for bookmarking and sharing our link at GearNetwork.com. All right, everybody, we are back here, episode 41 of Get Ready America, here on the Gear Radio Network, where you can also hear such great shows as Misguided Musings, our friends in Boston, Jordan and the gang, Misguided Musings. They're cool. Turnbuckle Talk Radio with Pat G. The G stands for Gangsta. And Dawn, Pat G is the most gangster you'll ever meet. Mm-hmm. And Gabriel Soul. You remember Gabriel Soul, right?
I do.
He's a dick. But he's got a heavenly voice.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
He's got. Listen, I think it was the last episode of Turnbuckle Talk. Gabriel Soul was on there, well, obviously because he's the host of the show. But they were at some venue. I want to say Riverworks or whatever. But there was music playing in the background because it was a pre-show and they were interviewing somebody. And he broke into song. He heard the song, he liked it, and he started singing it. Gabriel Soul can sing.
Oh, really?
He can. I joked with him that his voice is quite heavenly.
I'll have to check that out.
All right, I'll put it up. I'll put it up for you. But hey, I know you're getting your news together. But here we go. I was just cruising through the internet during our Kaepernick conversation here, and I found 25 crazy news headlines that will make you laugh yourself silly. You ready for this?
Let's hear it.
All right, number 1, the Associated Press. And mind you, this is through the course of time. So, the Rangers get a whiff of cologne. Bartolo Colon. Laugh your head off, Dawn.
That's awful.
From the Ethiopian Herald, Ford and Reagan neck in presidential primary.
Okay.
The Daily Kansan. Kansan, I don't know. Kansan. That's it, Kansan, Kansas. Student excited that dad got head job. Yeah. The New York Post. Statistics show that teen pregnancy drops off significantly after age 25. From the Tulsa World. This one's my personal favorite. One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers.
Come on.
Right, there you go.
Awful. That's just wrong.
From the Lumberjack, lady jacks off to hot start in conference.
I doubt that.
Yeah. From the Express Times, homicide victims rarely talk to police.
Odd. That's so weird. Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Can't think of any good reason.
From the Press Republican, A-Rod goes deep, Wang hurt, as in Chin Ming Wong.
Well, it can't go that deep.
From the Daily Mail, Waterford Waterford boy, 8, saves sister's life. Seems normal, right? Then the highlighted part is, quote, I wouldn't do it again. She's been a pain this week. Cute, huh? From the Associated Press, porn star sues over rear end collision.
I bet.
From the New Orleans Times Picayune, Jets Patriots jump head goes Harry Bartle. Yeah, that's a really weird one. Fox News affiliate, from the police, semicolon, crack found in man's buttocks. How's about girls' school still offering something special? Dash head.
All right.
It's all about the punctuation. 2 more for you here. The Winchester Star says study shows frequent sex enhances pregnancy chances.
Odd.
Yeah. Huh. And finally, from the Daily Utah Poison Control Center reminds everyone not to take poison. All right. Are you ready, baby?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's cue that wonderful, beautiful bumper. The return of Dawn's news you may or may not be able to use. Dawn, the stage once again is yours.
Well, I'm curious. Did you hear about the Chris Brown incident that happened?
No.
Really?
Oh.
Well, Chris Brown's always in some kind of trouble. Mm-hmm. So apparently he was accused of assaulting a woman.
Shocking.
Right.
That's never happened before.
My understanding of this situation is that she was there for a party. She was checking out some piece of jewelry or something that they were showing off in the living room, and people got upset about it, and Chris Brown pulled out a gun on her, and then they were trying to demand that she sign some kind of privacy agreement, that they do. I don't know. But she ended up leaving after that. So then the police went to apparently arrest him, and there was a standoff with them. So kind of weird, but I guess at the end of the day he ended up being arrested. I was just trying to look and see how long the standoff lasted, because that I'm not sure of, but it's just that he is always in some kind of trouble. Like, it just never ends for him, and I don't know why that is, but he cannot stay out of trouble for somebody who has so much money and so much spotlight on him, and he just cannot stay out of trouble at all. So.
Now, I need to ask this. Mm-hmm. You said the lady was staring at something like jewelry or...
I guess from what it sounded like, they had some pieces of jewelry that they were showing. And she was checking it out and commented on the piece of jewelry. I don't know.
Was she maybe looking at the fine china?
Only an authentic.
Oh, screw you, YouTube.
Suffice for Jordan's bachelor party.
That was awful.
Yeah.
That was so awful.
This is what I was going for. Fine china, Chris Brown. YouTube, you let me down. I hate you so much. You've heard this song before, right?
I don't know.
You know? You had to have heard this song.
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it.
Baby, does he do it for you?
Chris Brown. Okay. Go ahead.
It was awful.
Yes, it was. Goddamn YouTube and your stupid ads.
You know how airlines offer a service where if your child needs to fly without you, they will escort your child for you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I would never let my child do this, by the way. I'm too scared. But people do it. I get it. Great. Well, I guess you would never actually imagine that somebody would bring you a child that wasn't yours.
No way.
Apparently, a woman went to pick her son up from the airport. He was flying back from the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And they delivered a child to her, but it was not her son. Her son went to Boston, and the kid who was supposed to go to Boston came to her.
Oh.
And they,
Hell no.
The wrong kids to the wrong location.
Hell no. Wait.
Hell no, no.
Hell no. No.
And she had to wait 3 hours to even be able to speak to her son on the phone. So anybody who's a parent knows she was probably losing her mind.
I'd be losing my mind like crazy. I don't like to be with that. I don't like to be outside of arm's length with my kids, and you don't even like to be elbow's length away from the kids. I can't imagine that. That's hell no.
This next story I came across today, and I recall hearing the original part of the story quite a while ago, and you'll know what I mean when I get into it, but I'm just going to tell you the story without really too much my opinion on it, because I'm quite curious what you think about it.
Okay.
So, a woman and her partner decide they want to have a child.
Okay.
They go to the sperm bank. They pick out, based on numbers, whatever they do, they pick out the person they want. This
right.
blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, right? That's their sperm donor.
Mm-hmm.
Sperm bank makes a mistake.
Uh-oh.
And they implant her with a black man's sperm. She was very upset, so she sued. Apparently, whatever it was she sued for, wrongful birth is what she tried to sue for. And the judge threw it out because that claim is for unhealthy children, and her baby was born healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But the sperm bank apologized, and they refunded her money for her.
So she got a free baby out of it.
Right. Okay. So that was the first part of the saga.
Oh, okay.
Now, her daughter's 3. She's suing again because she's saying that it has been mentally trying for her, that it's been difficult for her because she lives in a town that is almost all white. So people don't understand that they, basically looked at badly, and it's very stressful for her. Mm-hmm. And that she has to drive into a black neighborhood to get her child's haircut. And that's very stressful for her as well. So she's now suing again. So I'm just curious, do you think she's justified in this situation to sue? Because people are up in arms over the fact that she's suing. So I'm wondering what you think about that.
The first one I could understand to a degree. But, well, I mean, not even to a degree. I could understand because you paid, with the intent, with the expectation that you were getting something that, you worked out with them and then you didn't. Okay, great. The second lawsuit, nah, not so much. Nah, I'm not in agreement at all with that. I think it's asinine. I think it's, you live in a predominantly white neighborhood. Who cares? That's your kid. Mm-hmm. Okay? You carried it. It's part you. And that's your kid. So those are the sacrifices, you drive to a quote-unquote black neighborhood to get her hair done. I mean, you don't really have to do that, but you're choosing to do that. But I'm guessing she just can't handle being a mother.
Well, she's also saying things like, I want my daughter to be able to grow up in a town where people will accept her. I want my daughter to be able to grow up around people who look like her, around biracial families, things of that nature. And so now she has to move, so that's an expense, right?
Yeah.
So that's something else she's saying.
But that's a want. That's what you
right.
that's what she wants.
Right.
It's not necessarily what she needs.
But this is what she's saying. She's saying that this was not her choice, that they made a mistake, and now because she has to do all these extra things,
it's bullshit.
They should compensate her.
That's
for
bullshit.
It.
If you thought it was going to be a problem, then put the kid up for adoption. It's almost as if she's blaming the kid being biracial, or trying to use that as a way to get what she wants. And justify it by saying, well, it was a mistake on the clinic's part or whatever, and it's just stupid. I completely disagree with that.
Right. I agree with you on that. I do think that she had a right to sue in the first place, and I think she had a case, and I think had she had a more intelligent lawyer, she probably should have won the case, but they sued for the wrong thing, and that was their problem.
All right.
But I agree. I think, I mean, it's kind of sad. Like,
this case is unrelated to the original, in my opinion. Completely unrelated.
Right, exactly. Because now you're talking about something else. And I almost understand. I shouldn't say understand. I could get you saying that you now need to move because you feel like where you live isn't the best place to bring your child up.
But you kept the kid.
I kind of get that. Right, but I mean, how do you not? So that's the thing. Like, maybe because I've carried a child, I know I could never.
Right. Some people can.
I know some people can, but maybe she can't. Maybe she's the kind of person who can. So I actually understand where she's coming from on that to some extent. I don't agree with and understand her saying about that she's suing for her basically emotional distress as well. I think that is more you made this choice to do that. So if it's emotionally stressful to you to raise a biracial child because you have to take them somewhere else to get their hair cut, which I think is a little ridiculous anyways, but
so it's
the moving thing, I can kind of get why you might justifiably feel like you need to move somewhere else.
Okay.
But again, that's probably something that you should have brought up in an original lawsuit when you were suing these people as to why it was a problem for you to have a biracial child versus the one that you picked because it was going to cause all these problems long term for you. I just think it's sad now. I think this little girl's 3, and you're going out and suing. And even though I'm sure it's not her intent, and there's pictures, and it seems like she loves her daughter, and it's great, it would make me feel like you didn't want me. Right. Like I was such an inconvenience in your life. I just think it's sad. So I was curious what you thought. Because
what I think is, number one, the original lawsuit, like I said, I can understand. This lawsuit, no, bullshit. Yeah. And number 3, when this little girl is 13, okay, it's because these lawsuits are a matter of public record. And it's on the books, you know, you can research it, you can Google it, you know, 10 years from now, who knows what the internet's going to provide, you know, but this little girl could, depending on how this lawsuit turns out, when people hear or hear this little girl's name or see her face, they're going to could possibly associate her with this case instead of for being who she is. Right. And that's bullshit. So that's my opinion on that.
Okay. There's people who took both sides, but what I saw was a lot of people who, basically said, well, she should have had an abortion.
Yeah,
and if she didn't like it, then why did she have the baby? And I don't agree with that because I think she had the baby because she was pregnant and had a baby growing inside her, and terminating the pregnancy at that point is,
Right, but there is also adoption.
Correct, right. But,
so again, some people do that, some people don't have the heart to do that. Right. I am not one of those people. I would not have the heart to do it. But again, I'm not carrying a baby, so I can't express those emotions the emotions that she would or whatever. But I mean, I think it's all BS anyway. So
a couple Florida stories for you.
Yay, Florida! You know what? I've been waiting to play this for a while. All right.
An accused Florida man says that his cat downloaded the child porn on his computer, not him.
Oh, my cat! Oh, she climbed up on the keyboard and Okay.
In another case, a man says that the cocaine shoved up his ass was not his. Not sure who that belonged to.
Oh, whoever got it, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
a man in Florida was arrested
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
after his neighbors called the police on him because he was having sex in his yard with this pit bull, and the neighbors begged him to stop, and he wouldn't. Gross.
2 words for that.
Hell no to the no.
Okay.
For some reason, a Florida strip club is offering free flu shots if their customers come in.
A Florida strip club is offering flu shots.
Correct. Not sure that's where I'd want to go to get my flu shot.
Hell no to the no.
You know what? I think your news might become the hell no segment too. Might be an integrated one. Yeah. No. Hell no. Hell no.
Yes.
Hell no.
I love that soundbite.
All right. And then I wanted to tell you this because I know that you'll appreciate this. This comes from Facebook.
Oh,
this is actually another hell no situation where somebody in one of the groups that I'm on had a babysitter at their house. They get home from work and the babysitter is sleeping on their couch while their 2-year-old child is upstairs in the bedroom playing. No gate on the stairs, no nothing. So the mom comes in, goes up the stairs, plays with the kid for like 20 minutes, comes down, starts getting dinner, just is waiting for the babysitter to wake up. Babysitter wakes up over an hour later.
Wow.
Right. So then the mom fires her, and the babysitter ends up calling her back multiple times, leaving messages about how she just doesn't understand why she got fired and how unfair it is and how she's going to file a lawsuit because she was unjustly fired from her position and they had a contract. I just thought, really? Can you imagine if I walked in and all I did was fire you after you did that? You should be very thankful.
Yeah, I agree. Again,
not really news, but nevertheless,
it's the being protective. Well, we were talking about being parents too, and you know, different things related to that. So, yeah. No.
That's all I got for news. That's it.
All right, we are running low on time here, so let's do the closing here. Dawn, excellent episode. Once we get this piece together, it's going to be great. Like, super great. Like, awesome.
Yeah, once you edit out all those mistakes you made in there.
Yes, indeed. All right, hey. Thankfully, we got a longer close song this time. I don't know what the hell's been going on, man. What a podcast. All right, Dawn, thank you for the news. Thank you for the chat. Again, Facebook.com/GRA on gear. If you want to talk to us and you want to share, you want to weigh in on the topic, please do. Also, again, ProWrestlingTees.com/TheJCMoney. Buy a Get Ready America shirt. It's on there. Order it. Ships worldwide, baby. And it helps us out. So, all right. Thank you for tuning in. Season premiere, Dawn. This means we got to be committed. We got to do this again.
I'm afraid of commitment. I'm sorry, I just can't commit to you.
Good day to you, Dawn.
Good day to you.
So long, everybody.
Good night now.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.